All right, so today we're getting into dragons. I'm going to make this video quick. Some interesting articles I found about a 60-foot dragon and an even larger one, which I'm going to read right after I read the quick one about the 60-foot dragon that was found, and many other type of creatures that were dug up and found in the United States and other parts of the world. So let's get into this. Find bones of a dragon, fossil remains of a specimen 60 feet in length unearthed in Chinese cave. Shanghai, China. This is the dragon year in Japan, and it is appropriate that the prehistoric beast should emerge from the well-known mist of ages and take his place as a for sure fossil and testimony that this may be. We have the story of a correspondent of the times that the dragon once existed in China. Well, they existed in the Americas, they existed everywhere. That the dragon once existed in China, we can no longer doubt, for we have seen fossilized specimens of him. Dr. Irwin and Tiansen, while staying here for some days, explored the riverbanks of the entrance to the gorges. In a cave was found that undoubtedly the fossil remains of a kind of dragon. A large specimen measures 60 feet in length, while there are also several small or young ones. This is an interesting discovery and has naturally aroused considerable talk amongst the Chinese, who can now, without exaggeration, declare that they have seen what every respectable Chinese of mature ages like to say he has seen, a dragon, though in this instance a fossilized one. A small portion has been chipped off and sent to the British Museum. So here's an interesting thing that I'm thinking about. They used to call, or what we've heard is that dragons are dinosaurs and dinosaurs are dragons. These are English. This is a Caucasian newspaper. This is a white newspaper in America. They would have just called it a dinosaur. They would have said a dinosaur, 60-foot dinosaur was unearthed. I have an article about a pterodactyl, and they call it a dinosaur. They don't say a dragon. They say in the article, they mention it as a type of dragon, or what the natives or what early humans or prehistoric humans would have referred to as dragons. But this one, they're just saying this is a straight up bones of a dragon, and they're linking it to Chinese lore. So let's get to the other one that I found. Where is it here? Okay. So, okay, here we go. This one's from March 6, 1916. Finding of fossil of 500-foot dragon causes excitement. Let me read that again. Finding of fossil of 500-foot dragon. A 500-foot dragon. Let's read this. Let's see. February 12th. Superstitious Chinese have recently been greatly excited by rumors which are spreading throughout the Republic concerning the discovery of the fossil of a dragon 500 feet long in a prehistoric cave in Yichang in Sichuan province. The Chamber of Commerce at Yichang, members of the school, and prominent citizens memorialized the central government on the subject, saying, "A new monarch has risen like a dragon, and the foundation of a dynasty of 10,000 years is to be laid. The fossil of a divine dragon has appeared in the regions along the Yangtze River." The Yangtze River is interesting. Shout out to the river. Quiet as kept. That got me into these archives, actually. I was doing research on, actually, believe it or not, Puff the Magic Dragon, and looking up where if there's an actual land called the Honolulu and stuff like that, doing links on that. Shout out to Con the Drop, 432, the Drops channel, and his dragon videos. But I was actually looking up the Yangtze and comparing it to the Mississippi and the Nile and stuff like that, and that's where I first really got into these archive pages and doing these deep dives. And so just an interesting fact about the Yangtze pertaining to me. Let's keep on going. It is a symbol of the protection of heaven and the joy of the people. It is therefore requested that a telegram be sent to the throne to bring the notice of the public to the discovery of the stone dragon at Yichang, and the fact referred to the Bureau of History to have it recorded for the information of posterity. So if you're saying, yeah, right, it's fake, la 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 la, well, they're saying they're reaching out, they're calling out to everybody they can to say, come see this. Thus the signs of heaven for posterity of the for the nation will be appreciated, and the desire of the people will be fulfilled. This memorial will widely printed throughout China and attracted very much attention, especially among the uneducated persons. In an effort to refute the rumor that the government was responsible for the circulation of the story in such a general manner, the president issued a mandate discounting all attempts to capitalize and urging the public to bring about general enlightenment. It is, let's keep on going where we got here. All right, let's jump down to here. As the ancient fossil deposited in the cave of the mountains may serve as material for research, said the governor at the Chun, are hereby instructed to make the local officials responsible for this preservation. Thus, students may proceed there to institute investigations. Who is J. O'Malley Irwin, who is the member of the party which discovered the dragon last October, was accompanied by M. Hewitt, the British consul at Ichang, and a number of the foreigners. He has recently published an account of the exploration. The cave in which the dragon fossil was discovered is at the upper end of the Ichang Gorge near a custom station called Ping Chan Pa. The Chinese call the cave Shen Kan Tu. In describing the discovery, Mr. Irwin says a large rock is seen at the entrance to the cave, and about 8 yards behind this is a particular piece of rock, somewhat like a coil of a large reptile. This resemblance, faint as it is, evidently appealed to the Chinese mind, for we are informed that the cave was sometimes called the Dragon Cave. So these people already knew this dragon was in there, and this sounds like, if we remember the last article I just finished reading a couple minutes ago, this sounds like the same cave. And like I said, I'm pretty sure these are the same caves, or connected caves. And not only did they find a giant, think about that, 500-foot dragon. I had to go look up how big 500 feet is in comparison to some things, so I can wrap my mind around what I'm looking at. And 500 feet is it dwarfs the Statue of Liberty. Hold on, let me go back to my, let's see what we got here. The Washington Monument. It would be, I would say that this dragon's probably the size of the Washington Monument, which the Statue of Liberty is 303 foot. The Washington Monument is 55 feet. And the Seattle Space Needle is 605 feet. So let's just say it's somewhere in between the Washington Monument and Seattle Space Needle. That's ridiculous how insanely big that is. And these types of things are roaming around this planet, and at one point maybe even flourishing with man. Who knows? Maybe somebody was riding that. Maybe that was somebody's pet at some point. Maybe that was somebody's guardian. Maybe that was a guardian of a city. Maybe it's a guardian of that cave. It says that there was other little ones in there, and they don't go into detail about what other things were found inside of here, outside of other dragons and other giant serpent-like creatures. So let me just finish off this article. A large rock is seen at the entrance to the cave about 8 yards behind. This is a particular piece of rock, somewhat like a coil of a large reptile. This resemblance, faint as it is, evidently appealed to the Chinese mind. We are informed that the cave is sometimes called the Dragon Cave, and that this was reputed for an extent for 50. To extend for 50 or about 17 miles. Okay, so the cave is 17 miles long, and yes, a giant serpent this large was just sitting at the entrance, petrified. And let's get into how they knew it was a serpent and how it wasn't just carved in there by their forefathers or by their ancestors. In former years, many foreigners have penetrated far beyond the spot where the fossils are now plainly visible, so that it seems likely that they have been recently uncovered, probably by a heavy discharge of water through the cave. When the lighted lanterns we had penetrated about 100 yards, we found ourselves walking along a ridge in order to keep out of the surrounding pools of water. And it was the particular serpentine course of this ridge which excited our curiosity and led us to closer examination, which revealed the fact that we were walking along the back of what we at first supposed to be a Chinese. Hold on, we go here. Back of what we first supposed to be a Chinese dragon carved in stone, and that that there were the size of 8 of these stone dragons being lying coiled together. Additional lights in the shape of flared and bamboo rope. In the examination of some, let's keep on going. 26 or 70. 26 or 70 feet from a point where the head was partially buried in the cave wall to the first point of contact with any other specimens, thus showing the length to be at least between 60 and 70 feet. And it seems that thus the same reptile extended for another 60 or 70 feet, but ongoing to the interminglings of the coils of various reptiles at this point. So they're saying that there's multiple fossils and bones coiled together. So like I said, there's multiple dragons that seem to perish in here. Let's see, the depth of the portions of the body uncovered shown in Watu, or I think that's supposed to say photo, was two legs or paddles partially uncovered were observed about 12 or 14 feet from the head. Another pair about 40 or 50 feet from the same point. The head appeared to be large and flat. It seems probable that the specimen examined is a fossil of a Morasaurus campere, in that it and the other reptiles were tracked in the caves in the past ages, and there were starved to death. Comparison between the length of the reptile and the depth of the body and its thinness would also point that starvation was the cause of death. An account of the discovery, accompanied by flashlight photographers, photographs, and some specimens of scale, have been sent to England and would be submitted to the expert examination at the British Museum. So pretty much they're saying, until us white people say it's real, until us British and English educated folks say it's real, it's not real. And then you have these people, the uneducated, as I said before, walking into this cave and saying, well, duh, that's always been a dragon in there. We know that there's been dragon bones in there. So there's that story. We got 500-foot dragons. We got 60-foot dragons. Here's another one, funny one. A fossil dragonfly, 27 inches long, armed with big jaws and teeth, has been found in cool measures of Allier, France. So there you go. You got dragonflies, 27 inches long, fossilized dragonflies, 27 inches long. Imagine a dragonfly 27 inches flying at you. Fossil dragon hunt map. Let's see. Fossil dragons, actually large prehistoric lizards, will be objective of search of Dragon Canyon in Utah this summer by Dr. C.L. Gazine, Smithsonian Institute. The Smithsonian, the boys that like to hide things, the boys that make things disappear, the history erasers coming in. They're looking for dragon bones, so if they found anything, you won't know about it. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, here's another one. An ancient dragon, the pterodactyl, whose fossil remains have been found in chalk at Cambridge, England, and elsewhere, with a very varied spread of wings, in which the largest specimens must have reached 25 feet, and almost identical with the dragon of fable. So here's an example where they're calling a dinosaur a dragon and a dragon a dinosaur. Now I got a lot more, but I don't want to make this video too long. I got skeleton. Here's a cool one. 200,000-year-old skeleton unearthed in Nebraska. The skeleton was found in the famous fossil beds of Cook's Ranch near here. It will be preserved and sent to the University Museum. I wonder if that was a giant skeleton. Here's another one. Giant fossil oyster shells. Fossil oyster shells said by scientists to be more than 400,000 years old, and some of them measuring more than 3 feet in length, have been discovered in a city bank in the Stark County of Texas and near a petrified forest. Wow, that's insane. And let me give you one more about. Let's see if I got this giant. I got some on giant trees. Here's one on an actual giant, but I can do a separate video on giant. I have a whole folder titled Giant Bones, and in there's at least, I think there's got to be at least like over. I think there's got to be 90 articles I have just on giants alone, whether they just died or articles on giants talking about reports of them from the past, and they're ranging from at least, I would say, about 7.5 feet to about 36 feet, 40 feet. So that's insane. Fossil skeleton of a giant 45 feet tall. Here was what I'm talking about. Fossil skeleton of a giant 45 feet tall, discovered inside Serbia. Cable's report. His teeth, 18 inches long, were almost inclined to believe this for two reasons. First, Barnum is dead. Second, the fossil bones are on their way to the National Museum of Belgrade. Odd thought, these marvels always happen far off on the other side of the earth, never at home where you can check up with your own eyes. That's not true. I have articles where they're literally dragging giant bones around in the country on museum tours and on wacky scientific dudes going around doing their little road shows, and they bring a bones of a giant, get it all put together, and they set up shop for a couple days, and they go around the country with it, and then later they sell it to a museum. It's funny that all these are assumed to be faked, but the museums seem to take them like, we'll take them anyway. They're fake, but we'll take them anyway. So I hope you enjoy this. Just some interesting finds I found. So shalom, all praises to the Most High.